the Ravens are more or less completely healthy for the game. Running back Mark Ingram and tight end Mark Andrews were both listed as questionable on the injury report during the week, but are on the active roster for the game. The Titans will be without wide receiver Adam Humphries, who sat out the past 5 games with an ankle injury, and linebacker Jayon Brown, who injured his shoulder in the victory over the Patriots. Most sports books have the Ravens as 10-point favorites, and gamblers have been backing them. Marcus Mariota was the Titans' starting quarterback for more than 4 years, but during the second half of the 6th game of the season, a loss to the Broncos that dropped the Titans to 2-4, he was replaced by Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill has led the Titans to a 7-3 record since then, and even leads the league's quarterbacks in several key statistics, including passer rating as well as yards per attempt and completion, metrics that show he's throwing the ball downfield. While Mariota isn't likely to play on Saturday, he had a very important role this week leading into the game, mimicking Lamar Jackson on the scout team in practice. Hopefully we can get that speed and get that look as close to what we are going to see in the game, Titans coach Mike Vrabel said Thursday. While running hasn't been a huge part of Mariota's game in the NFL, he was the 8th highest rushing quarterback last season. He ran for over 700 yards each season at Oregon in college, and ran a spread offense similar to what the Ravens operate. Minutes before the start of the game, CBS studio analyst Bill Cowher, who won 1 Super Bowl in 15 seasons coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers, learned he was selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Cowher was selected by a panel for a 15-member special class to be enshrined as part of the league's celebration of its 100th anniversary. The Ravens scored 531 points this season, by far the most in the NFL. But the team doesn't have a big play offense. Baltimore ranked in the bottom half of the league in both running and passing plays of at least 20 yards. Instead, its offense thrives on wearing defenses down, frequently utilizing multiple tight end formations. Baltimore's offense was on the field for an average of 34-37 in games this season, the highest average time of possession in 35 years, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. The Ravens ran for nearly 1,000 yards more than any other team in the NFL and earned the most first downs. Lamar Jackson runs at you. Mark Ingram runs at you. Gus Edwards runs at you. Justice Hill runs at you. And just when a defense thinks it has figured Baltimore out, Jackson stands in the pocket and throws a touchdown to Mark Andrews or Marquise Brown. It's difficult to stop. The Baltimore Ravens, led by breakout star quarterback Lamar Jackson, begin their playoff campaign at home on Saturday night against the Tennessee Titans, a team that upset Tom Brady and the New England Patriots during Wild Card Weekend. The Ravens earned the top seed in the AFC and had a bye last weekend. Jackson, the leading candidate to be selected as the league's most valuable player next month, threw 36 touchdowns during the regular season, the most in the league, and ran for 7 more. He also had 1,206 rushing yards, breaking Michael Vick's record for the most in a season by a quarterback. The Titans sneaked into the playoffs on the final day of the season, beating the Houston Texans to claim a 9-7 record and the 6th seed in the AFC. But they took down the heavily favored New England Patriots, 20-13, behind a stout performance from their defense and 182 yards rushing from Derrick Henry, who led the league in rushing and tied for the lead in rushing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. You are going to hear about Jackson, about how he grew up in Pompano Beach, Florida, about how he won the Heisman Trophy while at Louisville, about how many talent evaluators, most famously Bill Polian, didn't believe he could play quarterback in the NFL repeatedly on Saturday night. You are going to hear about Jackson if he plays well, and you're going to hear even more about him if he plays poorly. If you want to know more about him and how he approaches passing versus running, we've got you covered. Bill Belichick may be one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, but his coaching tree isn't very impressive. Former assistants like Romeo Crennel, Charlie Weiss, Eric Mangini, Matt Patricia, and Josh McDaniels have all struggled after leaving the nest to lead their own teams. But could one of his former players, Mike Vrabel, be an exception? Vrabel, who is in his second year as the Titans coach, played for Belichick for 8 seasons but did not coach under him. And in the Titans' victory over the Patriots last week, Vrabel showed he'd learned a thing or two from the master. Up 1 point in the fourth quarter with 6:33 left, the Titans opted to punt on a 4th down. But in order to give the Patriots as little time to work with as possible, the Titans intentionally took consecutive penalties, keeping the clock running. And after the Patriots accidentally committed a penalty of their own, they received the ball back with just 4:44 left. Where had Vrabel seen the move before that took advantage of a loophole in the rules? From Belichick, of course. He used the same maneuver while facing the Jets in October.